I left school by mutual consent, which was more on their side than anything else. And I wanted to play professional golf. Okay. So I basically dropped out of school when I was 15 years old. And I have no formal education outside of my high school base level. You want to back up on this one?
I had no.
We got a lot of stories like
that.
Right.
No.
Wait a minute. All right, keep going. I never knew that.
Oh.
Never knew that.
Hi, Reggie. I'm Justin. Nice
right.
to meet you.
All right.
So I sort of dropped out of school in those days. You could English high school. You could finish when you were 16 and go to trade school and do whatever. So I literally the second I could, I was out, and I got my what they call their GCSEs at the time, and I just never went back. And I was going to go play professional golf, and that didn't go so well as we can see, because I'm now here talking to you guys about real estate.
Right.
So I figured out at a really young age that I enjoyed the sales piece. So I was working at a driving range in the pro shop, and I was selling golf clubs and selling lessons and selling all this stuff. And for some reason, I had this massive ego. Past tense. This massive ego when I was 16 years old, and I just really enjoyed the sales piece. And so I thought, well, I'm not gonna. My one big regret in life, and I hate to say this, but my one big regret in life is I didn't give golf the time it needed.
Right. I
didn't necessarily have the best guidance. My family didn't necessarily feel that professional sport was a valid career, and I turned my back on that. But I loved the sales piece, and so I thought, well, what's the biggest thing I can sell?
Right.
And the biggest thing to me was a house.
Right.
So I went and got a job with a local real estate company in the mailroom. And suddenly selling houses, this was in the mid-90s, selling houses was taking flyers of listings and folding them and stuffing them in envelopes. and I was just in this mailroom, and I'm like, well, this is rubbish. So this is I don't really feel that, I'm not really feeling the energy of the deal here, you know.
Right.
And at one point, somebody was sick and a home needed to be shown. And in England, you don't need a license to be a real estate professional. So you can go and show a home if you work for a brokerage.
Right.
And I went to show this home, and I was a bit nervous. So they gave me the brick of the cell phone. I mean, this thing, it was enormous.
Now, is that still the law in England?
You don't have to be licensed, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
So when you're like the way that the transaction works there, you have an attorney on both sides.
Okay.
And so the agency, there isn't buyer's agency in the UK. Okay. Unless you're very, very wealthy or very, very famous and you need some sort of shield.
Right.
The agency, the brokerage, represents the seller.
Okay.
And so your job is a listing agent. The brokerage takes the listings,
right?
And the public's responsibility is to go and trot around all of the agencies and get on, at least it was then, get on mailing lists and hope that then somebody from the brokerage would call you about a new listing, or they'd see it in the paper or in the paper.
Right.
So suddenly this guy, he's not there, and I go and show this house, and I've got this brick of the cell phone, and these people are asking me questions. And I'm 17. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out which way is up.
Right.
And I'm flipping down the thing and calling the office, and they're like, just take a list of questions and come back. So I take this list of questions and I go back, and they give me the answers, and I call these people, and they're like, great, we'd like to buy it. And I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. And this happened a few times, and just organically, suddenly I just got used to showing homes and got used to talking about homes, and things just progressed really quickly.
Wow.
And then from there, I started to gain a bit of a name for myself, because I had no fear, I had no concerns, I had no bills. I was living with my mum and dad, and it didn't matter. Whatever I did didn't matter. And I mean, me and my best friend at our sister company, we had this client. His name was Billy Bogus. And he would book appointments on Saturday afternoons so we could go to the football. And I mean, it was a blast. But I got a bit of traction, and then the phone started ringing.
Right.
And people would call me and say, hey, I mean, have you thought about moving to London? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And suddenly I find myself living in London, working for this terrific company called Kinley Folkard and Hayward in their Southfields office, which was right opposite the tube stop, which was terrific because you get all these people walking up to your windows.
Right.
All agency in the UK at that time was all storefront. And so you put the listing in the window and people would come in, and it was just this dynamic, electric environment. And that's how I got started.